Hi, everyone, and welcome to Let's Get Visible, a podcast for business owners helping them to grow, have a sustainable business, and get more visibility online. I'm Dawes Brown, and I'll be bringing you SEO and digital marketing tips, as well as interviews and conversations with other business owners. So, let's get started.
So I'm thrilled to have digital marketing dynamo Yvonne Mayea join us today. With 18 years in the auto repair industry, her journey in marketing and business growth wasn't always smooth. She began her career working at a dealership for Mercedes-Benz and Toyota, and later moved on to the auto collision for a small franchise before being acquired by Caliber Collision. After that, she transitioned to marketing for her husband's and father-in-law's independent auto repair shop in California. She has faced the challenges of attracting customers, increasing revenue, and standing out in a competitive market. But she didn't let any of that stop her. Instead, she worked tirelessly to master her marketing skills, study industry trends, and develop strategy that drives real results for her own family-owned auto repair shop as well as that of others. So again, thrilled to have you join the Let's Get Visible podcast today, Yvonne. Yay!
Hey, thank you so much. This is so much fun. I'm so excited to be doing this with you.
Amazing, amazing. And as I said in the
Having me.
intro, you're joining us from California today, which is so cool.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
Excellent,
sunny
excellent.
California, Surf City.
Beautiful. So, as mentioned in the intro, your journey into business really wasn't, as a smooth ride, so to speak. And I'd love you to share with us today to take us back to when that all kind of started and how you then moved into working in the business and what that journey really looked like for you.
Thank you. Well, it all originated when I was pregnant with my son, on my
Okay.
second son, and I had a desire to go back to school,
Yep.
and I had already had a business degree, and I was just trying to find my way of how I could help my existing business with my husband. We owned an auto repair shop,
Hmm.
and we were doing great, doing good, but we wanted to take it to the next level.
Yes.
And he wasn't always present as he always asked to be, and he wanted to be. Kind of missed him at the parent teacher conferences, him being able to go to our daughter's recitals. And it just kind of tore at my heart to see that he couldn't even have a sick day off or, take a long vacation with us. I think the last time we took a vacation was when he proposed to me
Oh my goodness.
10 years. So it's been 10 years of us being married, and we could never take a long vacation because we didn't have anyone to sustain the shop that we were working in. So
Yeah.
just working tirelessly and just seeing my husband kind of dwindling and burning out, and spinning the wheels and working so hard and not getting the reward for all that hard work.
And as you said, being, I guess, a bystander of that and looking from the outside in, you could
Yeah.
then kind of see, okay, something here needs to change.
Oh.
So yeah, so that would have been the catalyst of you then, I guess, becoming more involved and hands-on. And so what did that process, yeah, start to look like? So once you had that aha moment of, hey, I think something here needs to change, what did that look like for you and your husband and your family as well?
Oh, I love this question. Actually, interestingly enough, it was SEO. I was in an SEO course,
Yep.
and I had Steve Whitteman was my professor at the time, but he's also like an SEO genius.
Yeah.
And he was teaching us about analytics and Google Analytics and how we could implement it on the back end of websites and kind of see where traffic was being driven and not be driven. So at that
Yeah.
point, I needed to learn how to do it. And what better than to practice on real world businesses? So I asked my husband if I could put it on his website because he didn't even have Google Analytics. Can you believe that? He
Yep.
had a marketing agency working for his business that didn't have analytics on the back end.
Wow. That's
So I put
okay.
in, yeah, so
I'm
we put that
shocked.
into place, and I started seeing, keywords that we could be researching, where traffic wasn't going to, what pages were being bounced off of. And it just fueled my curiosity to keep going and see what that looked like and how we could get him more visibility.
So from that moment on, what then other changes were made within the business once you had again that, oh my goodness, we can actually track and see this information and this data? What were some of the changes and things that you integrated to really support, the business and your husband at that time?
Oh, yeah. I had already wanted to take it over.
Yeah.
But when you're working with your spouse, you
Yeah.
kind of want to put the line in the sand and make sure you don't bring it home and you don't take it to work. And working
Yes.
with a spouse can be complicated,
Yeah.
say the least. So we weren't sure if that was something we wanted to introduce since we had already divided up our responsibilities of household and work, and we were doing so well at keeping them divided. We weren't sure if we could work together. So at that
Yes.
point, I had asked him, like, please, like, let me help you. Your marketing's horrible. These newsletters that are going out, these email marketing that's going out, it's outdated, it's not fresh, it doesn't even resonate with your ICA. Please, like, let me help you. And little by little, he saw my interest and he believed in what I was doing. And he's like, all right, fine. You think you could do this? Fired his whole marketing department that was
Wow.
doing so.
Yeah.
And I took it over and we rose to double figures to six figures. We 2x'd his business. Actually, our biggest month was 150 grand in 1 year. So under 1 year, we were able to get it to those numbers. So it's phenomenal.
That's amazing. And so, what were some of the other changes that you made? So, definitely SEO.
Oh yeah, we do paid ads. We did social media.
Hmm.
We also implemented missed call text back onto his back end. So
Yeah.
we were doing little changes, but they were doing big
Yes.
results. We did missed call text back. He was a shop of 3 people, but he was also welding on cars and taking in parts and helping a customer. And so the phone was the last on his priority, or he didn't get to it in time. So we
Yeah.
did missed call text back with automation, so we'd be able to capture the leads. We did the SEO, so we'd actually be driving a traffic
Yep.
to his service pages that were actually his services that he wanted to get. And we
Amazing.
also did social media. That was a lot of fun. Paid ads was another huge thing. And we all know paid ads can only do so much with
Yep.
a so-so SEO. And so those two needed to be brought up to par and work together simultaneously.
Yeah. And you make an excellent point there because I think whatever type of marketing that you do, it is a holistic approach and they're all connected. So
They
you
really are.
might be running paid ads, but if your landing pages and your SEO, as you said, are not up to par, then
Mm.
your ads are not going to perform as well as they absolutely can. So sounds like you made a massive impact in a really, really short amount of time.
Yeah, and it's
And
so interesting because at times we weren't sure which one was the thing that was driving the sales so
yes,
much because we implemented so much in such a short amount of time that they were all working so well together. It was huge. I don't know, just the whole system that I put into place immediately was exactly what his business needed.
and I bet he's super happy about that now.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
I'm telling you, we just came back from our kids' school event and he was able to attend and go with us and enjoy those memories. All he was ever asking was for time freedom. Money's nice, but time freedom is what we really craved. And we were
Yes.
wanting to be more present in our children's lives.
I love it. And so you've explained to us a little bit about your genius and the impacts that you've been able to make in your family business. And now you're supporting other automotive businesses to do the same. And you told us a little bit about your strategy of implementing certain things, but at one point, not even knowing, I guess, which one's generating like, the increase. And so now looking back on that as an experience, how is it now that you're looking at, I guess, different businesses and really being able to identify the things that move the needle? Like, is there a process or, yeah, a way in which you do that?
Yeah, I call it my shift into high gear system, and
I
it's
love
four
it.
pillars.
Yeah.
Thank you. I like the name too, and it's really stuck with me.
Yeah.
It feels exactly how the business did. We shifted into high gear in such a short amount of time, and that's what I want for other businesses too.
Yeah.
And I know time is so valuable
Yeah.
to everyone, and money loves speed. So
Yep.
what more than to just go right in? But the four pillars are
Yep.
SMS messages, you have your SEO, your PPC, and your Google My Business. Those four working simultaneously together is the
Yep.
magic sauce of just getting your business visible
Mm-hmm.
immediately.
I live it. And this, of course, is the Let's Get Visible podcast. So thank you so much for sharing the pillars and that insight, because I know people will be listening going, oh, I never even thought, about doing that for my business. And maybe I do have an external marketing agency that's currently running things. And maybe there's a few things that we can do to, as you said, shift into high gear. And I love the connection between the automotive business and also the pillars that you've just mentioned. That's just super cool. What is a common myth in your specific industry? So in automotive, is there a myth or is there something that you feel like you want to break through kind of and shatter the myth for that industry?
The myth is that you have to work your butt off and
Yeah.
just work yourself to the bone and hope that in retirement that you can reap the rewards of all your years of your hard work.
Yeah.
But most are finding out that it's just you're too burnt out once you're at that older age, and you're not going to be able to take your vacation. You've already missed out on those fun moments. Maybe your kids already took off and are in college and high school and having their own families, and you miss out on time. The myth is that you'll have time later on, and that's
Yes.
a fallacy. That's not true. It's right now, it's what you do with your time right now and how you can replicate yourself in a way to be able to be more in your business, but not have to be there present.
Yep.
And so you have to put the systems and processes into place. And that's the hard part. That's what
Yes.
you need to spend a lot of the time. Not so much working tirelessly with your head down and with your hands all the time, and just surround yourself with a good team. I would say
Yes.
that's really the myth, is that you have to work so hard to the point where you don't get to enjoy it until you get much older.
In the intro as well, I mentioned that it hasn't always been smooth sailing. You've obviously gone through it, lots of ups and lots of downs through your business journey. What would you say has been one of the biggest challenges that you've found in business, and what have you tried to do to overcome that?
I told this to my mentor actually just recently. I told him, had I known that I needed to work on my mindset before I owned a business, I would have done that first.
Yes. Oh, I love this. Yes.
Because there's so many tears and so much growth and so much maturity that needs to occur
Yeah.
that only happens once you're in the thick of it.
Yes.
You feel so confused and hurt, and failure hits your heart differently, and you feel the weight of it not working out the way that you had envisioned. uh,
Yes.
that that part.
Huge,
Yeah.
huge aha moment. Yeah, mindset is step one, really, of everything else that you do. And so, what were some of the things that you did in order to support yourself with, the area of mindset? And what, I guess, outcomes did you see from really focusing and working on that? Or is that still a work in progress? I know it is for me. So,
Everything.
yeah.
I did everything. I read the books, I
Yeah.
meditated on it, I walked the beach, I listened to audiobooks, I go
Yeah.
to sleep with headphones, the affirmations. I don't think there's anything I haven't tried quite yet. Maybe a cold plunge I haven't done yet. Um, but everything, just reading the books,
Yeah.
seeking mentors, building up your self-confidence and your self-worth. I think that one was the hardest one for me. If we're
Yeah.
being completely honest here,
Yeah.
it's finding my self-worth and my confidence within the business. I was a confident person, a very comfortable person with people, but when it came down to business, I felt this little all the
Yeah.
time. And when you're amongst giants, you constantly compare yourself and your peers, and you're waiting for when is it my turn? And you just cry. Honestly, I cry. And but now I'm grateful for those tears because they lift me up. They make me realize, okay, this is just a moment in time. This is a lesson that needs
Yes.
to be learned. What did we learn from this? Okay, it's making us stronger. We need to be stronger. Let's try this again. And it builds up that self-confidence that I didn't think I had built up and I needed to build up. And
Yeah.
I'm looking forward to the future because what I'm able to handle now that I couldn't handle then. And I remember crying before I started my business too, but they were for different tiers, for
Yeah.
different reasons. I dreamed and I wanted this. These are the
Yes.
tears I want. So that's the big aha moment for me. It's like, wait, I'm crying, but I wanted this. I want this business.
Yes.
But it's
Yes.
which kind of problems would you have rather have had?
Yes. It's the shit
No.
sandwich, I call it. Which shit sandwich are you going to eat? And that's not my like saying it. It actually comes from. So in one of her books, Big Magic, I think it's called. She says, everyone's got their version of a shit sandwich, and as you just said, you just have to work out which one you're choosing to eat in this moment in time. But I just find that really interesting because I see it so often is that this is what you wanted, and like what you're complaining about is what other people are wanting and praying for.
Mm-hmm.
And I think sometimes it just takes some moment to reflect back and go, hang on, I'm actually really grateful, as you said,
Oh
for the
yeah.
for the current tears because they're super different to the ones that I was crying a few years before. So
Have you ever heard of the phrase new levels, new devils?
yes, I have.
And that one I didn't hear till recently. I attended a Shop Fix Academy
Okay.
conference, and there was a shop owner who was making like 200K a month, and he's like, yeah, he's like, it's new levels, but there's still problems.
Yeah.
He's like, well, there were problems back then,
Yeah.
but now we're, making better money, but there's
Yes.
still problems up here.
Yeah. And would you say that sometimes we have this thought process that if we just get to the 100K or the 200K, all of a sudden life is going to be like so much easier and so much better? It's like, and then you get to that point, and as you just said, you're like, well, hang on, those problems didn't necessarily go away, they just changed.
Yes.
Or there's more responsibility now. So maybe they've even grown like a bit bigger than what they were when it was only making a turnover of, 50K. But do
We
you
just moved the
feel,
goalpost. That's all it
yeah,
is.
that's all it is. That's all it is. But it
And even
doesn't
when you
actually take away.
finally make it to, that dream car, that dream home,
Yeah.
find yourself looking for that next
The
thing.
next
It's
thing.
because your ambitions are still there. You're still
Yes.
excited. You're still driven. You're still the same person. And that's what's driving you.
Yes.
Those are going to be irreplaceable. Those are going to be replaceable. That
Yes.
car, you're probably going to switch out in a couple of years and get a different one. Or, you have your home. Okay, but now you're looking at a vacation home. And
Yes.
or your set of clients. And you're like, oh,
Mm.
I'll be happy if I just have these set of clients. But then you see yourself, you're like, well, I could take a couple more, no problem. Just
Yes.
grows and you just move the goalpost to whatever fits your need during that time and what makes you happy. And like how you like to say, what fuels you and what drives your passion and what you want to do.
Yes. And that's super important because if we're just ticking boxes and we're not enjoying
Mhm.
like a lot of what we're doing, it's not going to be sustainable, for us either. And one of the things you touched on, which I'm really grateful that you did share, but it's all about imposter syndrome
Mm.
and feeling like you're sitting there, as you said, comparing yourself to the giants and not feeling enough, not feeling equal, feeling like, oh, I don't know what they're all doing. Like I'm little me over here doing my thing, and all these other people are doing all of these amazing things. What's some of the ways that you've been able to work around that or really punch through that and go, well, hang on, I am equal, I am just as good as the giants?
My imposter syndrome, what helped me? I still have it.
Yep.
And it just gets to be different. So if I can just explain a little bit more of my thought process.
Yeah.
Originally, when I got into this business, I was doing the thing. I was clicking the buttons. I was handling the campaigns. I was working tirelessly to optimize all aspects of marketing in our business.
Yeah.
And then I remember a mentor telling me, but that's not scalable. So you're going to have to
Oh,
find your team to support you.
yeah.
So now I had already had imposter syndrome in that aspect of doing the thing and if it's good enough. But now I
Yes.
have to rely on my team that I'm hiring because now I need to move into the CEO aspect of the business and I want to grow it to multi-millions, and I
Yeah.
can't do that without my team, without a team around me. So then you don't do the day-to-day thing anymore. So now you're
Yes.
thinking, well, am I the imposter because I'm not doing the thing, but I've hired someone that's even better than I was, and they're supporting me, and my clients are getting phenomenal results. Now that's also an imposter syndrome in itself because you're not doing the thing anymore.
Yes.
And and if I'm not spending as much time on it myself, but my team is spending that much time that I was doing, now is my time valued? Am I valued? Am I valuable? So that imposter syndrome never leaves at all.
No.
It's just it moves over. It moves over into a new position.
Yeah.
It's kind of like when you go from about to have you're a mother. So when you have your baby, like, am I going to be good enough? Is this okay to
Yes.
do this right? You have never been in this position before until you're in it.
Yeah.
And you're just doing the best that you can in that moment.
Yes.
But you're phenomenal, right? Your baby's fed, your baby's sleeping,
Yeah.
it's showered and taken care of. You're doing a phenomenal job, but you still have that thing in the back of your mind, like, but am I doing good enough? Is this enough?
Yeah. I could so relate to that. Oh my goodness. Again, you're bringing tears to my eyes. I
Oh
have
my God, I don't
no,
mean to be
no,
that,
it's
that
all
is
good. I
a
love it.
superpower of
I'm
mine,
such
though.
an
I must
emotional,
tell you.
yeah, I'm such an emotional person. But yeah, I
I
still think that now too. My kids, I've got two teenagers, one is a young adult. And yeah, you still sit there, as you said, and just go, am I supporting them in the right way now?
Mhm.
Because they're in a different phase of their lives. And I've not been here before. This is all new to me. So yeah, thank you so much for sharing that. But how have you been able with your business? You've again explained so much of that journey. What's been something that's really helped your business to get visible, whether that's like online or offline? Anything else that you've been doing that, yeah, has really helped to elevate that visibility?
Social media, Facebook.
Yes.
People connect on Facebook so well. And
Yeah.
I know I have gotten outreach through DMs based off of just organic social media postings and just sharing my story and my journey of what I'm doing. And I know in the comments, someone will be like, but who's doing your marketing? I'm like, well, I am, oh,
Yeah.
let's talk. And I've done multiple proposals in that fashion. So I would say keep doing Facebook organic postings. Showcase your business no matter what, even if you're the only one that's saying it, but no one else is going to say it for you. So if you're not
Yes.
putting yourself out there, no one's going to hear you. No one's going to advocate for you but yourself. That's what
Yes.
visible. Make yourself visible. Oh,
Yeah.
I can't remember her name. I think it's Jen Gotti or Gottlieb.
Yes.
Oh, I'm
Gottlieb or something.
strange her
Yeah.
name, but she talks about putting yourself out there and always talking about your business. Even if you get one or two people looking, it could land on the right person at that time, and you're the right messenger.
I love it. And that's so true. If no one knows about you, then how are they going to work with you or inquire about your services if you're invisible, right? You have to put yourself out there. And it is a
And be
process.
relatable and
Yeah.
and knowing that everyone has a similar story. Maybe, you talk
Yes.
about your brother, maybe they relate to it's their cousin, but it's not, your brother. Everyone relates to one another in one form or another.
Yeah.
It's just about being open and having conversations and letting your guard down to know that not everyone is perfect and everyone is
Yes.
flawed.
Yes. And in hindsight, Is there
Mhm.
anything you would do differently and why? And I think you touched on this a little bit with mindset. That's one of
Oh
the
yeah.
things that you would definitely integrate into your business strategy. But is
Mhm.
there anything else when you look back that you would have done differently in your businesses and why?
Yeah, not being so afraid of what I have to offer.
Yeah.
It's okay to put yourself out there and not be for everyone,
Yes.
and not everyone's gonna like you, and that's okay. But there are some people that are just gonna absolutely love you,
Yep.
and you just have to get into the right rooms and the right tables and having the right conversations. But you have to be there. You have to walk into that room and you have to be present for that to happen. If you stay behind um, in your own head and don't get out, it's not
Yeah.
going to work.
Yeah, I love that. And that ties in beautifully with the one tip or strategy to share with our listeners. And I think that's it. It's just really placing yourself, as you said, at the right tables, going to the right
Mhm.
places, and really getting your message out there so that the right people will get it. And not everyone will like you or love you, and that's okay.
Mhm.
Yeah, and
Yeah.
moving away from people pleasing, which I'm recovering from that because I've done that, I think, for a really large, part of my life. So definitely can relate to that as
I
well.
think
But
I found out just recently. I don't think you can ever find any celebrity or any president or any musician or any business person that's not liked.
yeah, not liked. Yeah, they've got the good
Yeah.
with the bad, and that's part of running a business as well. It's not always going to
And
be the
yeah, they
unicorns
have
and
their
unicorns.
haters no matter what. And those who do really well
Yeah.
are gonna not always be on the good side of everyone. No one's gonna always like you. Not everyone's gonna always like you.
Yes.
I'm butchering this so bad, but
That's
the way
okay.
I say, not everyone's gonna like you. Even if you
Yes.
do something really well, people will still
Yes.
have something to say. If you do something bad, people are gonna have something to say regardless.
Yes.
So why
Makes
not do what
total
makes you
sense.
happy?
Yes. Do what makes you happy. I love
Yeah.
it. And on that note, thank you so much, Yvonne, for joining me today. It's been an absolute pleasure having you as a guest on the Let's Get Visible podcast. Thank you again so much for your time. And I'll be dropping the links as well to your social media handles and website so our listeners can connect with you there as well.
Thanks for giving this show a listen, and don't forget to leave your feedback and rating. If you want to learn more about me or my services, please jump on over to letsgetvisible.com.au, where you'll find show notes and links to my social media profiles so you can connect there as well. Okay, well, that's a wrap for another episode. So I'll join you next time on the Let's Get Visible podcast.